Egyptian walking onions? What the heck are those? Stay tuned and I'll tell you all about them. There are few sights as wonderful to a gardener than harvesting some of this composted goat poo and bedding to put in my squash patch, ready for planting my squash sometime this week. Look at all the red wigglers in there. Quite a lot in there. I'll take you over to the poo pile. Even if you keep rabbits, you can recycle their poo. Even if you've just got a couple of pet rabbits or a few chickens, 2 or 3 chickens, compost their bedding. You'll be rewarded with really, really good fertilizing compost for your garden. I planted these as bulbs at the end of September, and they grew a bit in the autumn and then they slowed down growing, and since early spring they have started putting on growth. Now you can eat all parts of the plant. You can eat the bulbs, although they don't get very big, but the stems are quite juicy and sweet and very oniony, and I use them like scallions or spring onions or green onions, whatever you want to call them. When they start to mature, they start to grow little onions on top, and some begin to grow bulbs on top. And what happens is these get quite heavy as they dry and mature, and the whole stem will bend down. I don't want to bend them because they're not quite ready yet, but it'll bend down from the weight, land on top of the soil, and then start to take root, and the process will start again. They'll grow like spring onions, green onions, and they'll grow tall, and they'll get these bulbs again, and they'll get top heavy, and they'll bend down and go down into the soil and take root again. So in effect, they are walking across your garden. That's how they spread. They're quite winter hardy. Well, they certainly are winter hardy in a zone 8-ish here in Wales. We get a lot of cold, wet weather in the winter. Not permanently frozen, although we do get some frost. But they're a super plant to have. And if you like green onions and fresh onion flavor, nice for salads, potato salad, green salads, what have you, or in cooking, they're ideal, and they're so problem-free. They don't seem to be affected by insects, and they just kind of look after themselves. Now in this part of the raised bed, I've planted some sugar snap or mange two peas, sort of snow peas. I'm just trying to think of all the different names that they're called in different parts of the world. We call them mange two, which is eat it all, I think it means. Anyway, they're growing along some old stock fencing. The reason I've used that is they wrap themselves around using little tiny tendrils, so they don't wind around canes like beans do. They're different. They have much more delicate climbing apparatus. It's these bits that wrap around the structure of something to climb up. So whatever you use needs to be fine. And these were just planted a couple of days ago. I'm still waiting to plant my beans out. They've grown really nicely. I've grown them in pots, but the weather's been quite windy at the moment, and I'm worried that if I put them out, they're going to get snapped by the strong breezes we've had. So I'm just going to wait a couple of days till things settle again. And we've got a couple of really cool evenings coming up. 4 degrees centigrade, which is 4 and 4 is 8 and 30, about 38 degrees Fahrenheit ish, which for kind of warm loving, heat loving plants like beans might be a little bit cool for them when they're just planted out. Yes, they're being hardened off, but they're not quite hardened off enough yet. Here's some of my climbing shelling peas, the ones that we grow for the peas inside the pods. And as I was talking about the tendrils on the Monge 2 or sugar snap peas, here's a good example of them winding themselves onto some sticks that I've put in the ground. So I've put these big canes as the basic structure, but I realized I was going to need to have something finer for them to latch onto. Here's the little tendrils. So you can use string, you can use sticks, you can use old stock fencing or wire, pea netting, which they sell, but I'm trying to use stuff that I've already got. And these particular peas are meant to be growing quite tall. They're called telegraph or telephone. I can't remember. They're meant to grow 7 or 8 foot high. So I've got to provide some vertical space for them. And I guess as they get taller, I'll probably tie some string around the TP frame. The potatoes have grown absolutely mad, and they have got blossoms on them. I'm very tempted just to pull one of the plants out and see if there's any baby potatoes. Now, for those of you who've got similar questions as to when to pull up potato plants, what you can do is, I remember an old allotmenter who used to say, tickle the soil and see if you can feel anything in there. And I can. I'm tickling the soil. I'm going to do a potato reveal here. Let's have a look. This could be an absolute failure. I could just be pulling something up that's not quite ready. But it's only one, so let's have a look. Oh my! Okay, well actually, I think that was worth it. Look at this. One plant. Sorry about the noise, that's Tom, the billy goat, wanting to come out and look for the girls. Fantastic. Okay. So, for Bob and I, that's perfect. I think I'll be making a lovely potato salad with this. The potatoes are nicely cooked. That took about 15 minutes. And I've got some of the Egyptian walking onions, some parsley and mint. You could add whatever you like. It's very much up to you and what you've got available. But this is a favorite combination of mine. I'll chop these up and add them to the potatoes. Here's the potato salad with the chopped up herbs and things. And I'm going to make a dressing, and you can use whatever you like. I'm using a dollop of commercial mayonnaise, to which I'm going to add some lemon juice, some cold pressed vegetable oil, and some salt and pepper. And I'll show you the finished product. And there we have it. Freshly harvested potatoes with an herby, or herby, depending on where you come from, light mayonnaise dressing. Thanks again for watching Sow, Grow and Cook, and see you next time. Bye for now.